You know, what I would say, first of all, is we all know, everyone who watched January 6th knows, what Donald Trump is willing to do. He lost the election. He tried to overturn it and seize power. And then he sat in his dining room and he watched the attack on television. He watched it. People pleaded with him to tell the mob to leave, and he.
Man, don't you just wish somebody would look at you the way Kamala Harris looks at Liz Cheney? You sure Liz is not the one running for president right now? Because I can't tell. No one can command the spotlight away from Trump whenever he's on the stage. And it seems to me that almost everybody takes it from Kamala whenever they're sitting there and talking.
Wouldn't. And he watched law enforcement officers be brutally beaten. He watched it. That's a depravity that, to me, I think to anyone who's taken the oath of office, makes someone absolutely unfit ever to be president again. Now, I could have just said, I'm going to do everything I can to work against Donald Trump. And there are a lot of Republicans who have said that. I have decided, and I am very proud and I'm honored to have made the decision to endorse Vice President Harris. And
politics is a dirty business. And do not forget that I totally got her out of politics. That Liz Cheney, she's a really terrible person. I supported her opponent, and her opponent crushed her. The biggest landslide victory in the history of primaries. And it was because of me and my endorsement. It was really great. That's really all it is. This is kind of an axe to grind type situation, if you really think about it. That would stand to reason why she's sitting on that stage right now, making such a big deal about her endorsement. What policies exactly, Liz, are you endorsing that you think would be better for the nation? Oh, that's right, just about all of them, because the Democratic Party is essentially the Republican Party. And especially when it comes to foreign policy, oh, baby, it's a wet dream for you and your bloodthirsty, psychopathic, war criminal father.
And I have gotten to spend time with Vice President Harris. I have had the chance to talk with her about how important it is that we have two strong parties in our country, about the kind of president that I know she'll be. And I think all of us, it doesn't matter what party you're in, we all know this is a good and an honorable and a great nation. And we have to have leaders. You might say, I'm not going to agree on every issue, but we have to have leaders who take that seriously. We have to have leaders.
Okay. This is such gargling bullshit. It doesn't mean anything. We are such a great nation. Are we? Are we a great nation? We are a great opportunistic nation. But the opportunity in this country is not for everybody. It's for a small percentage. And when she talks about these platitudes about what America is and what she thinks it is, keep in mind, she's the daughter of the former head of Halliburton. This is not a person who understands anything about regular people, doesn't give a fuck about them either. Remember, they're all in this little club and you're not invited. I know Carlin used to say it's a big club and you ain't in it, but it's not. It's a small club and you're not invited. And when they say, oh, we want to have two strong parties, what the fuck does that even mean? They are strong. They dominate everything. And they're strong because they are completely bought and paid for by corporate special interests. If they're referring to strong in the context of We don't need any third parties getting in the way. And Ray J brings up a great point. Just don't ask Liz about abortion. Why would you? Because that seems to be the only fucking issue that matters to upper crust liberals that they draw the line on. Not genocide, not a living wage, not universal health care, abortion. That's what matters because it's a personal issue for them. And I am pro-choice. But even I'm not stupid enough to fall into the trap. They are. Let me tell you, the one thing I am grateful for Trump for, he has exposed every fucking hypocrite in society. And I mean everyone. Especially in lieu of what's going on in Gaza right now. Everyone who has shown their ass has shown it all. The entire ass. We've seen it all. She sits up there, waxing poetic, saying absolutely nothing.
Who are going to be sincere. And as a mother, I want my children to know that there is someone sitting in the Oval Office that they can look up to, someone who can be a role model. And
honestly, this is just the reverse of Tulsi Gabbard. That's all this is. Tulsi gets booted out of the Democratic Party and decides to move over to the Republican Party, although I'm more inclined to believe that that's who Tulsi really is than it ever was what she was in the Democratic Party, because she represented Hawaii. But Liz Cheney, just reverse it. Got kicked out of the GOP. Now she's swinging over to the Democrats, and they're more than happy to take her in, because once you're in, you're in. People flip-flop between parties. It doesn't happen often, but it happens. And this is just another example of that. There's no there. And look at that look on Kamala's face at Liz Cheney. Could you imagine her sitting on a stage with the senator for Vermont? I got to tell you, I may not agree with a lot of what you're talking about, Kamala, but I believe that you care about the American people, and I think we got to get out there and vote for you. I think that's important. But no, that's not happening. You don't see Bernie. You don't see AOC. You don't even see Gavin Newsom. Which is why I believe, and this is one of the reasons that I do believe if Kamala ultimately loses, will be one of the main factors. You cannot skip the entire line. Not allowed. It's one thing to be the VP. It's another thing entirely to not even go through the democratic process of earning that nomination. Now, granted, the Democrats rigged their primary, so who gives a fuck? But at least the illusion of democracy is not even being attempted by the Democratic Party anymore. Now, it's right out in the open. We do not care. End of story. We will pick our candidate, and that will be that. And just in case you were wondering as to whether or not this was a real town hall and a real Q&A, well, Maria let you know that this is not exactly a regular town hall. Here's why.
You're not, unfortunately. We have some predetermined questions, and hopefully I'll be able to ask some of the questions that might be in your head. I hope so.
So you actually admit on camera that you have pre-screened questions. You will not even take a question from the audience. Are we supposed to pretend like this is a real process, that we're not just giving this all away? No, they can't not pretend.